Hi, I'm Gordon from Camera Labs, and this is my review of the Feisol TT-224, a tabletop tripod now with extending legs. Launched in early 2025 and costing around $150, it's the follow-up to the TT-15 Mark II, one of my favourite mini tripods and a constant companion on my travels. To paraphrase a famous saying, the best tripod is the one you have with you, and my days of lugging around a full-size model on the off chance of needing it are long over. Nowadays, I only carry a big tripod when I know I'm definitely going to need it, and instead pack something much smaller for general daily travel. I've been using the original TT-15 and its Mark II follow-up for years now. Their high-end construction, which include carbon fibre legs that fold out to a choice of angles, deliver a stable platform whether I'm filming product B-roll, running comparative tests, or perhaps grabbing the chance to make a long exposure. I rarely leave home without one. Of course, the trouble with tabletop tripods is their inevitably short height, but adding extending legs to such a small form factor often compromises their stability. Enter the TT-224 on the left, which is a little taller than the TT-15 Mark II on the right for starters, raising its platform from 145 to 172mm when their legs are at the narrowest angle. But while this represents the maximum height of the TT-15 Mark II on the right, the TT-224 can extend its legs with a single section with several notches, increasing the platform height to a maximum of 240mm. That's almost 10cm higher than the TT-15 Mark II. In order to accommodate the extending legs, the actual carbon fibre tubes have been widened, now 16mm in diameter versus 12mm on the smaller model. Meanwhile, the leg extensions feature 5 notches that work with a spring-loaded ratchet firmly holding them at the desired position. Here it is, locked on the first notch for its shortest height, followed by the second notch, then the third, now the fourth, and finally the fifth, which represents its tallest height. And when you're done, just push down on the lever and the extension satisfyingly springs back into the tube, great for packing away quickly. And at the end of each leg is a similar rubber-tipped foot to the TT-15's, providing decent grip. Long and short spikes are optionally available, and Feisol describes the construction of the tripod as being water resistant with high resistance to corrosion. And certainly I've used my TT-15s in snow and shallow salt water with no issues. Each leg is connected to the upper frame, milled out of a solid block of aluminium, with the same 3 angles available as the TT-15 Mark II. So for the tallest height, use the first 25-degree angle. Next comes the middle 50-degree angle, which for me is the most practical in terms of balancing stability with a usable height. And finally, the lowest 75-degree angle, which positions the top platform just 5cm from the surface for some dramatic low angles. And if you don't mind the legs being unlocked, you can lower the platform even further to touch the surface. The platform features a 30mm diameter rubber grip, but should accommodate heads up to 40mm in diameter. And they're held in place with a free spinning 1/4-inch screw, and on the underside of the tripod you'll find a groove for a coin, as well as a folding handle for tightening. The latter is a handy addition over the TT-15 Mark II. Meanwhile, the maximum quoted load is the same as the TT-15 Mark II, so that's 8 kilograms or around 18 pounds. And I've used both of these models to support large cameras with equally large lenses, even some telephoto zooms via their tripod feet. Now at this point, you'd naturally assume you'd fit a small ball head to the platform, such as Feisol's own CB30D, or this basic third-party one that you can see here, and it's certainly an option. Alternatively, you could fit a panoramic head like Feisol's PB70 seen here, and I've also fitted a third-party clamp and an L bracket. This in fact is my lightweight setup for capturing panoramas when I'm travelling, and so far it's proven pretty effective. But following my time with the TT-15 models, I most often dispense with a head altogether and just screw the tripod straight into the base of a camera, before then adjusting the leg angles to achieve the desired position. Impressively, the legs can also hold on friction alone for some positions, as long as you don't push down too much on the camera. But when the legs are locked at an official angle, both the TT-15 and the new 224 feel reassuringly stable. Ultimately, the Feisol TT-224 is a strong tabletop tripod that doesn't compromise on stability. Indeed, like its TT-15 predecessors, you'll be pleasantly surprised just how capable they are in practice. And like me, you may end up questioning how often you actually need to lug around a full-size model. The choice between the earlier TT-15 Mark II and the TT-224 of course boils down to size, weight, price and your own requirements for potential height. The new model can raise your camera 10 centimeters higher than the older TT-15 without reducing stability, but in turn it's larger, heavier and more expensive. The previous TT-15 Mark II on the right costs around $90, weighs just 182 grams and measures just over 15 centimeters long. In comparison, the new TT-224 on the left costs $150, weighs almost double at 354 grams and is longer at almost 19 centimeters. It certainly occupies a little bit more space in your bag, but that may be worth it for its extra height and the flexibility that offers. Personally speaking, going forward, I'm going to be using both models. The larger 224 for filming at, say, press events, but the smaller TT-15 for longer trips or hikes where every gram counts. But seriously, I can highly recommend either model to anyone who wants a very compact but effective tripod. If I've convinced you, there's a link in the description to the Feisol website where they've offered a 5% discount on any of their non-sale products using the code Gordon5. That's without a space. I'd love to hear what mini tripods are your personal favourites, so do let me know what you're all using in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.